Hello and welcome to another episode of Best Boys.
Oh, it's Oscar season!
Is it?
No, who cares about that? Oh, no, that's disgusting. No, I think they've nominated 3 foreign films in the entirety it's existed.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe if they just made better films.
Yeah. That's what some people tweeted.
Yeah.
I saw there was a very famous one where it's like, well, excuse me, but Lego Batman, my son loves that movie, and instead we've got 2 of these crap Chinese movies that no one's even ever heard of. It's like a Studio Ghibli film and something else.
Yeah. Honestly, you know, the West just makes so many better movies than the East. I mean, how can they even compare? Like, Joe, what about the movie Fistful of Dollars? It's a classic. Perfect
original.
American movie.
So original, yeah.
Yeah. Are you saying it's not original, Joe?
No, it was completely licensed and legally allowed to do what it did.
Oh,
original, yeah.
I heard that there was this shitty Japanese movie though. What was it called? Was it called
Well, because originally there was one called Yojimbo, and it just completely ripped off A Fistful of Dollars, and it was
shameful.
a whole to do. Yeah, because there's this guy named Akira Kurosawa, and like he got his name off this like dumb anime thing that people still like.
Yeah.
About, like, this cool guy on a bike. So that was pretty cool. I like bikes. But other than that, I think these films are dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't believe in that.
So, what we're covering today is the film duology, I guess. The duality of man, these films.
Yeah. Well, and each one, actually, they've got sequels, too. So it's like, it's basically, this series is like Alien versus Predator. You got Alien, there's a bunch of sequels to that. You got Predator, sequels to that. But then one day they decide to fight, and they fuck each other up. And then they make more sequels after that.
Remember there was an Alien versus Predator video game and it fucking sucked? And
there's been 8 of them. There's just so many Alien versus Predator games.
Did you know there was a movie that was PG-13 for it, Joe?
Yeah, it got rated PG-13 for like language, scary scenes, and slime. They rated PG-13 for slime. Yeah.
It's slime time.
The ratings board the MPAA really has hardened on slime over the years. Ninja Turtles 2. That got PG for slime.
Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, they have Ghostbusters 2. Slime. PG.
Originally, Ivan Von Ooze in the Power Rangers movie was rated NC-17 because he was Ivan Von Slime.
Yeah. No, and the slime was something else completely.
Oh, Jesus. Don't even get me started on Slimer for the fucking Ghostbusters. Jesus, Dan Aykroyd.
Well, yeah, originally, because Ghostbusters, a lot of its humor is much more geared towards adults, so they had a scene where all 4 Ghostbusters have their, like, hose, like, that they suck up the ghost with, and Slimer's in the middle of the circle that they made to try to suck him up.
And he's getting jerked all over the place.
Yeah. He's getting jerked around in this circle. And, like, they're whipping him back and forth, and, like, he's like, oh my god, I got ectoplasm all over my jeans, what will my wife think? And, yeah, but that scene got cut on the editing room floor. But they left in the scene where a ghost unbuckles one of their belts, sucks his dick, and then he, like, his eyes roll in the back of his head. And that's in the movie.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, the gimmick to this episode, besides us rambling for 4 minutes about dumb shit...
Well, that's fine. It's a podcast.
I watched Fistful of Dollars, and Joe watched Yojimbo.
Oh, yeah.
Joe, let's start with... Let's have you start with Yojimbo, get to a certain point, and then we're going to kind of like bounce back and forth.
See, like, what...
Because, for those who are already in the know, you probably already know that these movies... A Fistful of Dollars is a remake of Yojimbo.
Yes.
I have not seen Yojimbo. Joe has. He has not seen Fistful of Dollars. I have.
Nope. It slipped my radar.
So we're gonna kind of talk about each movie and point out the things that were really similar about it. We'll kind of go back and forth, and then kind of decide if we liked one more than the other, or which parts of which one were better.
Okay. Because my favorite thing to do is to judge movies without watching them.
Yes.
That's my favorite activity.
So, I'll give you a very, very brief overview of what Fistful of Dollars is. So, a man with no name arrives to this village on the border of Mexico. And he shows up there and he discovers that the people in that town are being harassed by 2 families.
Yeah.
There is the Baxters, who are the lawmen, quote unquote. He is the sheriff, but they are running guns. They're running guns and weapons. And the Rojos, who are brewing illegal whiskey and alcohol. The man with no name shows up here. He is originally not going to do much about it, but he gets enwrapped into these people's lives and decides to help them by pitting the two families against each other, primarily for him to make money. In the end, he sets the families against each other, they wipe themselves out, the man with no name moves on, having made everything worse, but saving some people who were in a much, much worse position.
Yeah. Well, that sounds about right.
So what is Yojimbo, Joe?
So it's about a Japanese man, right? And he's got no name. And he's wandering around, and he finds himself a town. But see, this town, there's two brothers, and they're hell-bent on violence and terrorizing the people of this poor town. So he decides to pit them back and forth. And do an old switcheroo and some tricks on them to get them to all kill each other off, and so the townspeople can live in peace and harmony again.
So is it a family of two people, or is it a singular brother?
It is. It's a brother.
So there's one,
and then there's
one
like
bad
there's a
brother.
married wife, and like so there's some other people involved along with it. But yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the intro to this movie, the man with no name comes in on a horse. He gets a sip of water as he watches a child try to go into a house. He gets kicked around by these rough and tumble Rojos brothers. The boy runs away. We later find out that boy was trying to see his mother, who had been kidnapped by the family, specifically Ramon, who essentially kidnapped the wife from her husband and her child and is keeping her captive.
Yep.
So the man with no name comes in here. The Baxters see him. They make fun of him. They shoot at his mule. He runs away.
You don't shoot at a man's mule.
Yep.
Let me tell you, partner, if you done reckon you think you can fire off your six-shooter at my horse, dogaboo.
Oh, well, he gives them a real talking to about his mule, Joe. So he ends up meeting with the local innkeeper who gives him shelter and a little bit of backstory. So how does it play out in Yojimbo?
We'll see. So basically, it's the 19th century in Japan, and there's a ronin, right? So it's a samurai without a master. Like, basically, all these samurai got fucked after the fall. And they
after
were just
their
wandering.
individual clans, or if you're a ninja of the Takeda clan, and the Takeda clan is no more, well, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah, you can't go on unemployment. They only have 19th century unemployment. It was a worse time. He can't just sit at home and watch movies. He's wandering along a trail, and he basically decides, I'll just let the wind take me where it wants. So he picks up a big old stick and throws it, and then it points him in the direction of this town. So basically, he's wandering down, and pretty much immediately, there's a father fighting with his son. The son's going to go become a ruffian, a gambler, because he doesn't want to spend his life eating gruel on a farm like his father.
Okay.
And the dad's like, oh, these goddamn kids, these whippersnappers, they got no respect for nothing. So he's wandering into the town, and, like, the reason why he sees that everything's immediately pretty much gone to shit is there's just a dog walking along with a hand in its mouth.
A human hand?
Oh, yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So he stops at the inn, he tries to get something to eat, but nobody's paying for anything anymore, so he doesn't even have hot food, so he has to eat some cold rice, some sake. And the only one who's doing business in this town is the coffin maker. In a town of death, only the coffin maker profits.
That is very close to Fistful of Dollars. He goes into the innkeeper. He says, I ain't got no coin to pay you.
Yeah.
And he goes, nobody has coin in this town anymore. The only thing they pay in is blood. If you want money here, you have to get employment with one of the brothers or as a coffin maker. And he, like, opens up the door, and it's, like, this old man with this real white hair. He's like, how you doing? Yeah. He's making coffins.
Well, I got some wood in this other day, so I think I can make 3 more coffins.
So what the man with no name does is he listens to the innkeeper's story. He tells him about the brothers, how they're the two families are fighting against each other, what they're specializing in, and he makes his decision. He goes upstairs because he's morally, and this is probably something that happens 1-to-1 with Yojimbo, is he goes upstairs in this area to kind of overlook the town because he's operating on a quote unquote higher moral authority. Kind of looks down at him, makes his decision to try to get some money out of him. Not necessarily to save the town or anything lofty like that, but he sees an opportunity and he goes to take it. So first thing he does is he goes over to the Baxters, tells them that, hey, my mule is feeling pretty hurt by what you guys did. I understand it, but he would really appreciate it if you apologized. And then, of course, there's a real cool cowboy shootout
Yeah.
They refuse to apologize to his mule, so he takes him down, goes back to the coffin maker, tells him, "Sorry, my man, get me 4 coffins ready."
Yeah.
And he goes over and he joins up with the Rojos. They give him a sweet sack of gold to basically keep his nose clean.
Mm-hmm. Well, Yojimbo differs actually because see, like basically these.
Does he have a samurai sword instead of a gun?
Yeah, he's got a sword instead of a gun. But yeah, this group of ruffians is hassling him whenever he comes into town, and he just kind of ignores them and walks off. But then the innkeeper, Goji, because you said you wanted me to say all these names, right?
I mean, if you want to. I mean, as long as we know who we're talking about, you're fine.
Well,
if you say innkeeper, unless there's multiple innkeepers.
No. So the old man's name is Ganji, and he explains that basically Siebe, he's the old crime boss of the town, and he runs a brothel with his wife. So basically, he's one of the main guys, and then the competing crime boss is Ushirato.
Okay.
And he's got this, like, really dumb brother whose name is Inokinchi.
Okay.
And he's appointed the sake brewer Tokuaman as the mayor. I don't know how to say these names.
So they're brewing illegal sake, and that guy is the mayor, one of those brothers. But then the other family, or the other brother, is running a brothel with his wife.
Yeah, the older one is running the brothel, and
I'm gonna make a jump here. Is the wife much more intelligent, business driven, and responsible than the husband? Because that is how it plays out in the cowboy movie.
Yeah. Do they also have a dumb son, kind of like a shy son who doesn't really want to get involved?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Oh, well, I was
how
say
does he? Tell me more about Yojimbo.
Yeah, he
also, what does Yojimbo mean?
Well, no, Yojimbo means bodyguard in Japan. That's not his name.
Okay, so it's essentially the man with no name walking in.
Yeah,
whatever.
it is.
Okay.
So he goes back over and he just 3 slices, 3 dead men. One of their arms cuts off and blood just spews on the ground. In basically the shot that George Lucas used in Star Wars '77.
Okay.
And then he goes over to the coffin maker and he says, "Well, it looks like you're gonna need about 2 more coffins." Nope, make it 3.
Yeah, it's the exact same scene. Fuck.
Yep. So that's how they solve that dispute.
Okay, what does he do from there? Because the man with no name went to the Rojos and was like, "Hey, I took out some of the Baxters there. They give him some money, and the reason they give him some money is they're basically like, hey, we're gonna put you on hire for us as a bodyguard."
Yeah.
Mostly because the American and the Mexican armies are going to meet down at the river. The army is coming into town. They're carrying something, and they're passing through, and they don't want any trouble. While let's make sure that things are a tentative peace, because this cowboy man, he's a trained killer, but he's also smart, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So they pay him money to basically keep his dumb mouth shut while the army goes through.
That basically ends up happening, but not exactly in that order. Basically, they want to employ him as a bodyguard. They pay him a shit ton of money, like 50 Rio, which here, I've got this on... Somebody on Reddit basically totaled this for me. What 1 Rio is, basically, it's about 18 grams of gold, and it's worth 4 koku, which was 330 pounds of rice, so this would be about 12,000 pounds of rice times 50.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So they don't want to pay it out, so basically what the wife planned is, okay, listen, we should actually go to war right now with this brother and, basically just try to wipe out as many of them as we can with this new elite bodyguard we've got, and then kill him in his sleep and take back the money.
So,
oh, wait. Well, I was gonna... Because, in yours, basically, in Yojimbo, they decide, okay, we're gonna fight right now, but then, the bodyguards are able to outsmart them. He overhears them planning to kill him, so he takes the gold they give him already, throws it at their feet, and they're like, well, I'm not fighting for you. And then he just watches them about to do battle. And then a guy on a horse comes in and say, oh, hey, the inspector's coming, So they have to put their war on hold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with the man with no name, he joins the Rojos for a bit. here's the same thing. He's in a room. He goes upstairs into there. It's really a castle. It's got these super, super tall, thin walls.
Well, yeah, over in Japan, the walls are made of paper, so you can hear. If somebody's just farting on the toilet, you can hear that.
So, throughout the whole mansion.
Yeah. Just all the geishas are, just tee-heeing. Because the king's shitting.
I imagine there's similar walls in Yojimbo where they have that very tall wall with the weird roof that he can... That at one point he probably gets on a horse and jumps over. But what the man with no name does is he goes upstairs, because that's where his room is, where he's staying, and he meets a Marisol, which is that lady I mentioned earlier. She had been kidnapped because Ramon, one of the Rojo's brothers, likes her, accused her husband of cheating in a card game, threatened to kill the man's son, so the man had to stand down.
Yeah, I mean that basically happens, but it's a bit out of order. That doesn't happen until later on in Yojimbo. But
they make really good use of just making these guys out to be real pieces of fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like they're
swearing up a storm. They got their 6 shooters on their belt
to the point where even the Baxters are bad guys, but they are not seen. They do things that are bad, but the Rojos are definitely worse. It's very much like a bad versus worse scenario, which I really enjoyed that. Interesting shot. I don't know if I don't imagine this one was actually in Yojimbo. When Clint Eastwood is in the innkeeper's place, there's like a roulette wheel that he like kind of moves stuff off of, and the guy's like, "There's no one plays roulette here no more. No one uses any kind for money." And he picks up this wreath, this like halo, and like circles his head and looks really confused, holds it there, and then sets off to the side.
Yeah, no, that wasn't.
And I feel like that's probably that's something where it's like he's supposed to be your hero, your idolized. You got this golden wreath around him. He's just like, what the fuck? And just throws it away, uninterested. Yeah.
Well, no, the Ronin is very mischievous in this movie. Like whenever he's overhearing that like they're planning to kill him, he's just sticking his tongue out at the geishas. Like, don't tell.
Clint doesn't do anything too wacky like that.
Yeah. I mean, Yojimbo's kind of it's got like a mix of comedy and action.
Probably. So something here that happens with the Rojos is they're having a party, and there is a suit of armor, of knight's armor, that is in the courtyard. And Ramon, what he does is he takes his rifle, which he prefers over the Colt 45, and he shoots the knight's armor. He's using it for target practice. He's taking this honorable, heroic suit of armor and is just shooting at it with a gun. He's not doing any. He's disrespecting it, which I imagine if that's in Yojimbo is probably some badass samurai armor.
No, that's not in.
Really?
Yeah, because they didn't have guns, so you would have to slice at it.
It'll be interesting to see how because I assumed as I was watching this, I'm like, oh, that is a samurai armor. It's gonna have the same ending, but no, that'll be interesting to see. So Clint helps the Rojos. The army comes into town. He tries to kind of take a peek in there, and they point a gun at him like, "How about you get going, amigo?" And they go down and they go to the river, and Clint senses something weird. So him and the innkeeper, they go down to the river, and they kind of crawl on their bellies and hide up on top of these rocks and watch as it plays out. The American soldiers are meeting the Mexican soldiers, and they are trading a bunch of gold for some big heavy weapons. The Mexican soldiers, I believe they're the Mexican ones because they have yellow clothing. They give them the gold. And then it's revealed that it's actually the Baxters who had killed the American army and had taken on their uniform wearing like big pink cowardly undershirts. So they're putting on the armor of quote unquote armor of these more honorable people, and was framing it, shot them all down. They were running away, shooting them in the back. Just real nasty pieces of shit.
Yeah,
right?
I think I saw in the trailer. Like, there was like a kid amongst the army, and he just had a slingshot, and he shot him in the back of the head like Bart Simpson.
Was there?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like a cut thing or something.
No.
Yeah, but they, him and the innkeeper oversee this, and they're like, oh, So they got some useful information. So, he kind of brokers this information, and he goes over to the Baxters. He sneaks into the roof, like into the wife's bedroom, and she calls in her husband. You know, he's standing by the door. He takes his gun away from him, and it's this really fun line where he's like, "When a man catches another man, and when a husband catches a man in his wife's bedroom, you never know how he's going to react." And he kind of tells him, "Hey, this went down. There's two dead bodies. There's two bodies in the graveyard of the American and the Mexican soldier. You better go see. You better go get them. You know, because this is what the Rojos did. This will get them kicked away forever, and you'll be fine. The army will come down and fuck their shit up." Tells the Rojos the same thing, that they escaped, that he saw it, and that those two were in the graveyard. So he sends them all to that graveyard to fight over two dead men.
Yeah.
On top of the grave of, as the innkeeper put it, the only man in this town who ever died of dysentery or pneumonia. It was the only man in this town who died of disease instead of gunfighting.
Yeah. So basically, whenever he's going over the salary with them, he gives a fake name, Sanjuro Kubatike, which means 30-something mulberry field. But then he says that actually I'm almost 40 now, so he just gives him like a made-up name. But people call him like Sanjuro now, after this.
Okay.
And like, so he decides like, hey, I'm just gonna go back to the tavern, and then like everybody's like coming at him now with offers because they weren't able to fight to the death. Basically, that official got in the way. They had to clean up the town and make it presentable.
But they know that this guy is badass. I want him on my side.
Yeah. And like actually, the opposite side, they've got like a giant man with a big hammer.
Really?
On their side, yeah, they've got like a big like giant.
Is that the brothel side?
No, not the brothel side.
Okay, the sake side.
Yeah.
So they got this big fucking video game mid-level boss guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think because it's all these Japanese names.
Well, I mean, if you just need to give him a nickname.
Yeah.
You know, it's like how I've been saying the innkeeper, even though his name is Castellano, I believe, something like that.
Yeah.
Like there's names for pretty much everyone in Fistful of Dollars, except for the man with no name, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, basically the sake side, they get their youngest sibling back. He comes back in the town. He's got like a brand new pistol that he got probably visiting the U.S. So he's showing it off. He's shooting things to people, and then
what was he shooting at? Was he shooting anything interesting?
Town bell.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, he says, "Hey, I'm gonna go."
Also, there is a town bell in Fistful of Dollars as well.
Okay.
And it does get shot.
Yeah. So to the brothel side, he convinces them, okay, I'm going to go spy on the other side for you. And then the lady, like, offers to hook him up with any of the geishas, but he refuses. And then he basically happens upon, like, so I'm, like, explaining this weird.
I mean, it's starting to sound like whatever he's spying on them with is probably going to align with what Clint Eastwood was doing when he saw them get involved at the army at the river, shot him down.
So basically, like, the official's been in the town for a while, but then suddenly he hears that somebody was killed in another town and he's gotta go there now. So he overhears these two drunk men over on the sake side saying, like, oh, we killed them and they paid us 1 silver piece for it. So he's now got this information and he like, basically knocks him out with his sword, with, like, the wood part, and takes him to the brothel, or no, he goes back to the people who hired him, and
the
says,
sake bros.
Yes, yeah, and says that he basically caught them, like conspiring. So, so they take, so they've got these people now, and then in exchange they take like the dumb son who doesn't really want to get involved with violence. They take him hostage. So
both sides. So one side has those two people.
Yeah.
That were talking about how they killed this guy in the other town.
Yeah.
Which they don't want the official to know.
Yes.
And the other side has their son that's very meek.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they go and they're about to trade them off. But instead the side just shoots the 2 assassins.
The 2 assassins?
The people who killed the guy in the other town to get the official out.
So the sake brother just pow kills those 2 assassins with a gun.
Gun, yeah. And then
they keep the son?
Yeah, they keep the son, but then the other side has the wife of one of the brothers, who he really likes, who he got from that guy who lost his wife gambling he was going to lose the house. And
yeah. So, well, okay, go ahead and go a little bit further, and then I'll tell the cowboy version of this.
Okay. So, basically, Sandro finds out where that guy's wife is being kept, and that 6 men are guarding her. So, he basically says, like... So basically, he says, hey, listen, I'll be... The side who has the wife, he says, I'll be your bodyguard now, and I've got this information that the other side is going to go try to steal the wife from the brother that you want to give the wife to. So he's like, oh, thank you very much, and he gives him 50 Rio, which is like a shit ton of gold. So he goes over, he gets like the really dumb brother to just like, hey, go off over there, I think I heard something. in the dark. And then he goes in and he's able to kill the 6 men guarding her within, like, nothing. But then afterward, he trashes the house to make it look like there was actually a fight taking place and that he wasn't all that good at killing.
Uh-huh.
And then basically he gets the man back, the wife, and the son, and gives them all the gold and says, get out, you need to leave right away. But they're just trying to thank him.
Mm-hmm. So, with this one here, So he finds out about Marisol. He finds out about all this stuff. Clint is pretty informed of what's going on. So he gets those 2 bodies of the American and the Mexican guy, puts them in the... Gets everyone out, basically. Gets everyone going into the cemetery so they're out of town. And he decides, after seeing how Marisol and how this is all so bad, he decides, okay, I'm going to go to this castle of the Rojos brothers. There's a guy out front guarding it. His name's Chico. He's a very, very big Mexican fellow. He's got a sombrero. Clint doesn't shoot him, but he shoots the support of the gate to the front of the castle, and it comes down, crashes on him, knocks him out. Clint goes in there. He's basically searching for the gold, is what he's looking for originally, not Marisol. Yeah. He's searching for where the gold is because he knows that they have it. So he goes to their whiskey area. He kind of finds his way in there. He's looking around. It looks like a 90s point-and-click adventure game.
Oh, and you have to give the cheese to the mouth so he climbs up on the wheel, and he spins the whole contraption to get the movie rolling. Yeah,
it's 43 minutes into the movie. It looked so cool to me that I actually wrote it down. If anyone wants to watch this, I'm sure it's on whatever streaming service. 43 minutes, you'll see him enter, and it looks very cool.
Yeah.
So he's kind of tapping his gun on things. He's tapping it. The film's cutting between the gunfight, which the movie makes excellent use of color. Holy shit. There's a lot of scenes where it is almost completely black, except there's a very dark blue sky. And it looks very good. So you have these people in these shadows,
moving around.
Blam, 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 blam. And then it transitions to like thunk, thunk, thunk.
He's just beating on stuff.
Thunk, thunk. Looking for the gold with, the much brighter yellows and browns and oranges.
Yeah. I mean, Yojimbo's actually in black and white, so Kurosawa basically used the camera to move around a lot more than pictures normally moved around back then in the day. He did like a lot of pan and
more interesting shots because his movie was 40, late 40, early 50,
61.
Okay, I was way the fuck off.
I mean, Kurosawa was doing stuff in the 40s. He did like Seven Samurai is his most well-known movie. He did like Ran, a bunch of different stuff.
So he's digging through there. He finds the gold. He's like, aha, here it is. He knows it's in this barrel. Then he hears someone. He's about to take the gold and he's about to just bail. He's like, I got my money. I'm just going to leave these fucking crazy people. He's not too, he doesn't want to deal with them. He hears someone. He goes to the door. He hears them walk through. He opens it. He punches them right in the face, and it's Marisol.
Oh,
so he just knocks her out. And you can see him. He goes, he looks really angry. He punches her. And then he changes to oh, God. And he rolls his eyes.
Now I gotta carry a lady.
Yep. So he carries her out of there and, leaves the castle. The other guys come back in. They kidnapped the brother.
Yeah.
The child of the Baxter
the old
brother.
couple, yeah.
So he's very meek. Like his hair is like smooth. Everyone else in this movie has very wild hair. His hair is gelled and smooth.
He's got long, ladylike hair.
He's clean shaven. Like he's
like
very,
a lady.
He's very much not.
Your boy's a lady, sir.
Thank you, Joe. I'm gonna have to edit those to make it not hurt. You're making more work for me.
What?
Yeah, Joe, it's a fucking flat.
Flat?
Shut up.
No, but I thought that was good.
Shut up. Stop talking.
What? Me? Stop talking?
So he has Marisol, and they have the son. He takes Marisol to the Baxters because he talked to the wife there, and she's much more reasonable than the husband is, and tells them, hey, here's Marisol. You can exchange her for your son. You know, this is just a happy coincidence that this happened. I'm willing to do this for you. You know, give me $500. So he does that. Then there's a prisoner exchange between the two, similar to what you described. But instead of anyone getting killed, how it plays out is Marisol is on a donkey, getting sent over in the middle of town square. So is there's the son. He's getting sent over on a donkey as well. It starts to go, and then Marisol stops because her son and her husband show up. Her son runs out to greet her. The man with no name is kind of... he's looking distressed, but he's not making any move to do anything. One of the Rojos comes out, and they're like, hey, I thought we told you to leave town. And he unbuckles his thing, and he goes to reach for his gun to kill the husband. Clint is still not doing anything. He's going to let this play out because he got his money. But the innkeeper comes out with a shotgun and threatens the man, you know, let that family alone. You know, they've suffered enough. And then finally, Clint kind of makes a look, and he's kind of reserved. He's now, okay, I'm going to help these guys now. So they do end up doing the prisoner exchange. Marisol goes back to the Rojos to live with Ramon. The son, or the dad and the son are told that they have to leave now. If we ever see you again, we're going to kill you immediately. They get their son back. The exchange continues.
Yeah. So
now man with the name, he's like, okay. I'm going to go back with the Rojos here. And, well, that's about as far as you got with yours. So I'll let you go ahead from there.
So, yeah. So basically, the Ronin... Okay, so yeah, the Ronin convinces them that the massacre took place by the other men. So the silk warehouse gets set on fire, and then in exchange, the sake storage place is... like, all the sake's just pouring out because they busted holes in it, and everybody's just drinking.
Wait, why did they bust holes in it?
Well, that was the other people's stuff. That's how they make their money, is sake, and then the other people make silk, and they have got the brothel.
Okay, so they ruined the silk, and then they ruined the sake?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now nobody's making no more money anymore.
Okay.
So, like, basically, Shenjuro's plan is kind of going according to how he wanted. Like, everybody's fucking up each other and not looking at him. But then he walks back into the tavern, and he sees that Ganji's really happy. And it turns out that the man he rescued left a thank you note for him. Like, saying, like, hey, thanks, you basically saved everybody. But the gunfighter comes in there and says, like, hey, listen, we just heard reports that somebody saw the wife somewhere else. Now, how can that be if they have her?
Oh, so they figured out that his...
Well, yeah. So, like, they basically think about it, but they haven't really accused him that. And then they see the thank you note that the husband wrote, and they just, like, beat the shit out of him. So, basically, he's just, like, held in, like, a room, and they're just beating the shit out of him whenever he tries to get up and leave. So, like, in between the beatings, he basically just hides in a chest, and then the dumb one and, like, the giant go back in to beat him some more, and they're like, where'd he go? So they leave the door open, and then they go run they go tell everybody else that he disappeared. So he's able to sneak out of the chest and just kind of scurry. Like, he can't even walk anymore. He's just, like,
real fucked up, so he's crawling along the ground to get out of the castle.
Yep. Well, yeah, and, like, basically, I mean, I don't know how Japanese houses really differ, because it's like a 18th or 19th century.
The doors are probably a little bit easier to open.
yeah, you can whoosh. You can
walk
breathe
through
on
them.
them. Yeah.
It's rice paper.
Yeah, but he's able to, like, crawl into the floor because you can just lift up the floorboards.
Yep.
I guess they weren't nailed down back then.
Yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah.
So he's underneath the house.
Yeah, listening to everybody try to find him and stomping around, and he's poking up like a groundhog, like trying to see his shadow.
Okay.
So you think he might get caught then?
Okay, here. I'll go up until that point in the cowboy one here.
Yeah.
I had to refresh myself a little bit on the last, because I've seen the first 2/3 of this movie many times, but the last third is always a little bit. So, he decides he's going to help them. So he joins the Rojos, and they're having a big celebration party. Because, it was successful, everything's going well for them. The Baxters want peace. They want to give up and have peace, you know. Although, no, that's way earlier. But he joins the Rojos because they have no reason to think that he's done anything wrong yet. He fakes being extremely drunk. He's shooting the knight with his pistol, shooting it, you know, pow, pow, you know.
Probably missing, probably hitting the toes.
Eyeballing it, like shooting it with his gun in the same spot, like, So he fakes getting so drunk that they have to carry him up to his room upstairs that he was in before. They drop him off in there. They're like, this dumb Americano's had way too much to drink. As soon as they close the door, he hops up to his feet. He overhears where they have Marisol. She's off in this little house guarded by 5 men. So he sneaks out of the window, same window that he snuck out of to hear their plans to keep him, you know, pay him to keep him silent and then kill him afterwards if he causes any trouble. You know, he hears that, and that's original. So he goes out and he goes to this house. He opens the door. They're all sitting there partying, having fun. And he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, shoots them all with his gun. Then he just starts trashing the room.
Yeah.
Making it look like the Baxters
did it. A bunch of people, yeah.
He's going to frame the Baxters for it. He just goes in there, kills them all. A 5th guy is about to kill him, but Marisol points it out to him. He grabs a machete and turns around and just gouges the guy, which I imagine might have been a callback to Yojimbo if he got caught out.
The sword play, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was I'm not sure how graphic a Fistful of Dollars in. Yojimbo is very graphic for its time, but nowadays it looks like nothing. There's one splash of blood and a little bit of blood on the corpse. People
get messed up, but I mean, there's not like gratuitous. Like there's a lot of blood from people's mouths, spitting blood, things like that.
Yeah.
But he tells Marisol, he's like, all right, you, Julio, and Jesus. Julio's the dad, Jesus is the son. Here's all the money that I've gained here. And he hands him this fat fucking wad of dollars. He's like, this is the money that I've gotten from both.
A fistful of dollars.
Yes.
Yeah. Does he say that? I've given you a fistful of dollars. Now get up on your horse and leave this town.
He gives him everything that he's earned and tells him to get. So, you know, like, thank you, you know, you have done so much for us, et cetera, et cetera.
Get out of here.
You know, get on your way.
Yeah.
So they're safe now. He sneaks back into his room. He comes in, he turns around, gun right in his face. Ramon was right there waiting for him. So they start torturing him really badly. They take him to the whiskey room, and they're just beating the fuck out of him.
No.
To the point where he can't walk.
Yeah.
They're beating the fuck out of him.
I was going to say, I really hope they didn't 007 him in that new James Bond movie.
What do they do?
They've just, he's on like a chair, but with no like thing in the middle to sit your butt on. He's just on the outside. And they just got a big rope with a knot in it. And they're just whacking at his balls over and over
Seriously?
again. Oh, yeah, that's in the new James Bond movie.
So he's just sitting on the chair and there's a hole right in the gooch.
Hole. Yeah, and they just whack at the balls.
Oh, God. So they're hitting him in the gooch with a,
gooch a big old rope. A soap on a rope.
God damn, they're grundle spanking him.
Yeah, they're Albert fishing that poor man.
So luckily, Clint does not get fucking. He doesn't
nothing
get
with the taint.
You know, he doesn't get hit and goes, ooh, my pee-pee hurts. Stop it.
I'm a cowboy.
Stop it.
I'm on a horse. My penis horror. Ow!
Joe, fucking put your hand over your mouth and then shout your dumb bullshit.
Oh, my penis hurts!
That didn't work.
Yeah,
Joe.
See, I'm too loud. I'm too loud to be recorded.
Yeah, if only there was someone who could be responsible for that, who could do it themselves. Any fucking way, Joe.
What?
So they do to Clint Eastwood what I want to do to you right now.
What? Hug and kiss him?
No, they beat the fuck out of him.
Okay.
They leave, and it's the same whiskey room that he was in before. So what he does is he gets his way up to the top ramp. Everyone leaves. 2 people come back in, and they're like, "Oh, where is he? Oh, search the area." And he knocks down a giant, comedically large barrel of whiskey.
A big bucket.
It rolls down the ramp. They go, ah! It hits them, and it just fucking explodes.
Yeah. Temple Raiders of the Lost Arkdom.
Yeah. So
another thing that the Spielberg and Lucas brothers stole.
Yep. They really fuck him up. In fact, the same shot where it's rolling down. It's like a camera is right above it, so you see it rolling down to him, and then it cuts to their face, goes ah, and then they explode. Anyway, he rolls down the hill painfully, this little ramp. He Gets outside, he hides in the corner. They run in there, they're like, my God, he's in here somewhere. He lights a match, throws it in there, and catches the place on fire. Then he starts crawling out of the castle. He gets underneath the porch, and he's like crawling underneath fences. He's just very slowly, and they're like, I want to find this cowboy and I want him dead. And he's right below the guy. He's less than a foot away from him underneath it. And he's kind of crawling this really long porch, and you see people running left and right. You see people kicking down doors to the buildings on top of them, setting fires, looking for who might have him.
Yeah.
They think, because the innkeeper and him were friends, they go to the innkeeper, and he lurches his body up there, looks in the window, and they're just beating the fuck out of the innkeeper. But he won't talk. He talks to the coffin seller. He's like, you got to get me out of here. He's like, oh, don't worry, your friend's so tough, he'll never talk. And he's just getting the shit beat out of him. I'm jumping back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
He's crawling along on the ground. They can't find him. They go after the innkeeper. Innkeeper doesn't talk. They kick him in the nuts. And then they go, he must be hiding with the Baxters. And they go over to the Baxters. What they do is they take a bunch of their whiskey, and they splatter the Baxters' house with it, and they light the place on fire. And then they sit out there holding their guns, waiting for the Baxters to come out. They come out there, their hands are up, saying, "We surrender. Don't shoot." They shoot them down. Yeah. They don't have any weapons. They shoot them down. They kill all of the Baxters. They kill the husband. They kill the wife. The wife's out there, saying they're murderers. They didn't even have weapons. You're murderers. A curse on you. A curse on your family. A curse on. So they shoot them all down. Clint Eastwood is in a coffin, leaving the town, and he doesn't heroically sprint away or fight back or try to stop them. He crawls on the ground, leaving a
like
trail
a
of fucking blood to hide in a coffin and leave town.
Yeah,
So you can go ahead and continue from where you are.
How it takes place in Yojimbo is basically he's able to get to the tavern owner's place. He hides him just under like basically just a tarp, and they don't check there. It's like two
They're
sticks
all
and a tarp.
sake drunk.
Yeah. So they go in. They don't beat him, but they just kind of search the place and take back off. And basically they go and they burn down the brothel. And so they're coming out, they're executing all the guy's men, they kill the son, and the old man, and yet... so basically, how, like, in Japan you would carry a coffin is, you'd have one person on one side and one person on the other. So the tavern owner gets the coffin maker to come help him carry Sanjuro in the coffin, but then, Sanjuro says, hey, stop, I want to look at him.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing that happens in Fistful of Dollars. He goes, hey, wait. And he pries it open to watch as they burn,
take a peek.
As they burn the Baxter/brothel's place to the ground.
Yeah. But then, so, in that chaos, like, the coffin maker flees, gets out of there. So the tavern owner can't carry him anymore. So what he does is he convinces, like, the really dumb son to come help him carry the coffin, because... He says, like, hey, you're not afraid of ghosts, are you? There's a bunch of ghosts in the cemetery. He's like, well, I've never been afraid of nothing. I can carry anything you say I can't carry to a destination. And then, they take him out of there and escape him, basically.
It sounds like you have a strong kinship with this big challenge fella.
No. I have never struggled in my life. I've never felt challenged. And not even whenever I'm playing Melee and a new challenger appears. I have never felt challenged.
So with Man with No Name, he's hiding out in this cave, basically. There's a bunch of stuff in there. There's a suit of armor that I don't know if I guess he's like hiding. I don't know if he's hiding in the Rojo's thing. He's like, it was a little confusing here. I think he's gone, but I guess there was just a second suit of armor. I thought it was the Rojo's, but it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, it's not in Yojimbo. He's not in a suit of armor.
So what he does there is he's sitting there and he's just firing at the armor. He's just shooting in the same spot with his pistol several times, trying to see if it's gonna pierce or just thinking about things.
Well, yeah, Yojimbo, he throws a knife at like a leaf blowing in the wind, and he's able to get it every time.
Similar.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, he's just thinking. He's dwelling on the things that he's done, the pain that he's caused people. The coffin maker shows up and he's like, hey, I got you some supplies. The innkeeper was on his way here with some supplies to give you to help you last through the week, but he got caught. And he's like, oh, don't worry though. They can torture him as much as they want. He'll never speak. And Clint just looks pained because he knows that it's his fault that this guy's going to get the fucking shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
The same level that he did. So the guy's like, so, I mean, you can hide out here, until the heat dies down, or, And Clint's like, all right, he agrees he's going to go back there, and the guy goes, perfect, and he gives him some fucking dynamite.
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with what we call a Mexican firecracker.
So then Clint has this big idea where he gets suited up, and he's going to move back, he's going to go into town. He gets his supplies ready, and he goes. I don't really know what the dynamite was used for, because there's a big explosion out of town where they're like, they've got the innkeeper, he's hanging by his wrists, they're just beating the fuck out of him.
He just got 8.5 miles of fuse, and they set it up in one location and then lit it.
Yeah, so there's a big explosion outside of town, and I guess it was just a distraction to create a dust storm. So there's dust everywhere, and then as it clears, there's Clint Eastwood in his poncho, arms at his side. And he tells Ramon, like, hey, leave that man alone, yada, yada, yada. He, this is the final confrontation, so I'll just leave it right here, and then you can go ahead with Yojimbo from where you were.
Yeah.
So what does Yojimbo do after he escaped into the cemetery?
Well, he's basically just, like, in, like, a little hut, and, like, the tavern maker's been sending him stuff. But, yeah, then the coffin maker comes and says, hey, they caught him.
Yep.
And he very much just goes right over there, and it looks like they hanged him, because you just see his feet swinging a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But then it pans up a little bit, and you see, like, he's actually just tied there, and he's, like, grimacing.
Yeah.
Oh, they do that again.
They were doing pretty much the same thing. You don't see his feet hanging, but you just see him hanging from his wrist from the same signpost outside of his inn, and they're just beating him up, trying to find out where the guy is.
Yeah. So basically, like, everybody knows, okay, this is going to be the big confrontation. So there's giant guy with the hammer, dumb brother, all their soldiers, and then the guy with the gun. And you think, how's Sanjuro going to get out of this one?
Yep.
And there's just dust blowing everywhere and things happening. So he plays it smart. He knows, I got to take out the gunman right away. So he basically just sprints over him before the guy can get off a shot on him. Because he's, like, trying... Like, they do that thing in westerns where they don't get, like, the shot off as soon as you see, like, the whites of their eyes. So
he just, like, they're, like, watching, seeing where he's going to come from, and then he just sprints out of a place and
No, I mean, he's in the open, and they don't shoot him there.
Well,
yeah, it's just, like, a thing that happens, and...
they're watching each other, and then he just dashes over and
he's able to dash over and slice him, and then he's just mowing down 6-7 people, and he's able to get them all.
Okay. He gets them all. Is there like a duel with the hammer guy?
No, one swing apiece, basically.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You want a big hammer, man. Ooh, me bumbo.
Yeah, he has to wait for him to smash the hammer down, then get behind
3
him
times.
And hit his back.
He's got to hit the hammer 3 times on the ground, and then he'll do a backswing and go, ooh, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he's got to get him to run into walls, and then he's vulnerable to get hit.
Yeah. No, you slash at his ankles.
Yep.
His ankles are the most vulnerable part of a human body. It's not the eyes.
Yep. So how does it go after that? He takes those guys out, and then what happens?
So then... Yes, okay, so only one left is the gunman, and basically he's... Oh, no. So before that, there's one of the men left, but it's that boy from the very beginning, and he's like, oh, please don't hurt me. And then Sanjuro says, we'll go back to living a long life, eating gruel. So he goes back home to his dad. It's like, Tarantino actually took that for Kill Bill Volume 2, for the Crazy 88 fight, where, like, that boy, she basically just, cuts his sword in pieces and spanks him, and then sends him off. So, the only one left alive still is the gunfighter, but just barely. He's just bleeding out in, like, the dust. And he asks Sanjuro, please don't let me pass off into this life without my weapon. I've already fired it twice. I don't have any more bullets in it. So, Sanjuro hands him the gun. But he doesn't get, like, a shot off. He's like, well, I can't really move it right. And he just fires off into the ground instead.
So he does try to get him, but he can't.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of tries to get him, but he can't. He's
Yep.
basically dead right there.
Showing how, for, cowardly weapon, it's the only ranged weapon in any of this. He gives him his thing, and he still tries to backstab him. Very, very cowardly bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was which brother? Was this the Sake brother?
Yes.
Okay.
Or the Silk brother.
The Silk brother.
Because they had the
brothel / Silk. That was
no,
guy?
sorry, yeah, you're right. The Sake brother. Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So and then after that, then it's kind of
yeah,
done.
it's all movie over. Fin. Le Fin.
So the way it plays out in Fistful of Dollars, so there's the dust storm. Clint Eastwood's there. Ramon it's Ramon, and then his and then three brothers, and which is one short of the full family. He's there. At one point Ramon said, if you ever want to kill a man, you have to aim for the heart.
Yeah, that's what people used to think before we knew that the brain meat is what keeps us ticking.
So he walks towards him, and he's like, he's taunting him, saying, shoot for the heart, Ramon. He shoots him. Clint falls down. He gets back up, gets onto his feet, keeps walking towards him, keeps telling him, telling him that he's a bastard, a terrible man. Aim for the heart, Ramon. Is your aim not so good? What's wrong? What's wrong, Ramon? And he gets closer and closer and closer and closer. Ramon's getting real fucking sweaty.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone there is real goddamn nervous, wondering what the fuck.
Yeah.
Clint takes off the poncho, reveals that he's got a piece of the knight's armor over his heart. Mm. And it has, it's reinforced metal. He was shooting them in that same spot over and over and over again. He throws the poncho off, lets the metal drop to the ground. They do the cowboy squint. They reach for their guns, and the pow, 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 pow.
Yeah,
leaves just the rifleman. He doesn't kill the rifleman, but he shoots the gun out of his hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think he empties out his clip.
Yeah,
but
probably.
he's the other ones are dead. It's just him and Ramon. And then he gives Ramon. He's like, all right, you know what? Here, I'm gonna give you a fair shot, because at one point Ramon is saying that if a man with a rifle meets a man with a 45. Man with the 45 is a dead man. So he's like, I'll give you a fair shot, Ramon. He kicks his gun back over to him. Reach down there and load it. He empties out his gun. Stands at the same spot as Ramon. Their gun. He drops his revolver. Gives him a fair fight all the way up till the very end. I was like, hey. They do the cowboy squint again. They reach down. Clint loads in 6 shots and gets him off before the guy can load his rifle and shoot him.
Yeah.
He gets hit.
He's just a sloppy rifleman.
He just does the spin, from his point of view, you see it spinning and spinning and spinning. The last 2 things he sees is he looks up to the sun, and he sees Clint Eastwood, and then he dies. Which I don't know if looking up to see the sun is something that was in Yojimbo for the guy.
No, I don't believe so. Not like a point of view shot at the very least.
So he gets him, and then then you see it kind of camera zooms back, and the last brother is about to shoot Clint through the window with a rifle. And then the innkeeper actually blasts that dude with a shotgun. So Clint's only alive because he showed kindness to these people and yada, yada, yada. So mows them all down. Everyone out there is all happy. Both of these horrible families are fucking gone. The Baxters are gone. They got murdered. The Rojos are gone by the man with no name. He moves along. It ends as he gets on his horse and just leaves. So, it's very, I found myself many times just looking at this movie, because I watched it 2.5 times, because we were trying to record this episode a while ago.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago.
Wait, what was it? Oh, yeah, we looked at Boomer Hentai instead.
Yeah, we were going to record, and then we just looked at r/Boomer Hentai.
Yeah, the coolest Reddit place around.
And then even before that,
it's like the old Playboy comic strips.
Yeah, and then one that said 6911, never forget.
There was a bird, jerking off.
Yeah, bird jerking off is the plane in one of the towers, 69.
Yeah. Well, that seems sensible. That seems like a good comic strip. It's better than Marmaduke.
Anything's better than Marmaduke.
Yeah.
Okay, side note here. The fucking worst newspaper comic. It's never been funny, and I've never fucking laughed at it once. Blondie. Blondie is not fucking funny.
What is that?
It's like this little dude. You can Google it. You can Google it on your phone here.
Oh, it's listening to us, damn it!
So Blondie was like on bologna, I guess. I don't know. It fucking sucked. All he ate was bologna sandwiches, and he was never fucking funny.
Wait, Blondie is a guy? I thought it was like that hot chick.
No, Blondie is a guy, and he's unfunny. And I fucking hate him.
Mobile data is turned off, so I can't help
Shut up.
He's looking up Blondie. No, I really I was a big fan.
Google searching for Blondie hentai.
No! Yeah, I'm work phone. No, I was gonna say I was a big fan of Kathy because she was just morbidly obese, but then she ate celery sometimes, and that was just what the strip was about.
Anyway, so back to the cowboy movie Yojimbo.
Oh, okay.
I found myself looking at shots sometimes. I don't know if Yojimbo got the same treatment as Fistful of Dollars, where it got like a super good HD remaster. In, like,
it's on the Criterion collection.
Oh, with Janus Films.
Yeah, Janus Films.
Is it really Janus?
I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I think it's Janus.
It's Janus.
Is it? Okay.
I don't know.
No,
I'm gonna call it Janus.
I think it's Janus.
Janus gives me a smile.
Oh yeah.
So
Criterion and Janus.
Just many shots in this film, like the looks on the characters, everything's really, really good. The set designer, hold on, I got on my piece of paper here.
Oh.
The set designer is Carlo Simi. He's set and art design. He did fucking great work. Sergio Leone was the director. He went on to do 3 trilogies, I think. He did Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
And then he did...
I think it's called the American Trilogy.
Yeah, the American Trilogy, where it's like something in America.
Well, Once Upon a Time in America.
It's Once Upon a Time in the Wild West, Once Upon a Time in America, Once Upon a Time in something else.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's like the last one, the very last one he did, I think, was Once Upon a Time in the West, where it was like the ultimate cowboy movie. Yeah. Or maybe it was the first. I don't remember.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't have like a ton of movies in his career.
Yeah.
He probably only made about 10 or so.
Because, I mean, when you first told me that this was a shot-for-shot remake, I'm like, oh, this must have been like his first one, and this is the one and done. He made one good film, then he was kind of done. Yeah. You know, it's weird to do a shot-for-shot remake and then go on to do all this other stuff. But no, he was a very, very good director. He went on to make... I mean, I don't think he has any stinkers. I think they're all pretty fucking good.
Oh, I was going to say, Ziegler actually took issue with you. He took issue with you.
Oh.
I think he was listening to maybe the Noise Boys. I think he was listening to some of that. And then he said that you called Fistful of Dollars a ripoff of Yojimbo. And he had to say, well, actually, it's a remake.
Tyler, Ryan, you fucking boomer.
Right. Well.
Well, I mean, if he listens to this episode, then he'll understand that I was saying that to be funny.
Yeah. He says I make too many errors. He says I get my facts wrong about the movies.
Yeah, you do,
and
Joe.
He has to correct me. Well, but a fact is just a new opinion.
You know, now. Ryan is a moderator at r/boomer hentai.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Based on Malevolent Movies, you know, every time he watches a movie, he's looking for boobs.
Well, in a slasher movie, there's nothing to look but boobs.
Yeah, butt boobs.
Yeah. What am I gonna look for in like the Ginger Dead Man 4? Great cinematography. All I'm gonna get is a pair of flesh with nipples on them. The best I'm gonna get. That's 90 minutes.
Were there any particular shots or lines from Yojimbo that you were just like, that's fun? Pretty much everything Clint Eastwood said was very, very... And I'm going to talk about, you know, how the cowboy influence and all that stuff, how we're coming into this late.
Yeah.
But I want to give you some time to talk a little bit about Yojimbo before I go into that.
I was going to say, I have some fun facts.
Give me some Yojimbo fun facts.
Yeah. So basically, one day after Kurosawa scolded the main actor, Toshiro Minafune.
He committed seppuku.
But he arrived late to set one morning, so Minafune made it a point to be ready on set every day at 6 a.m. in full makeup and costume. That's how much the Japanese think about honor.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Because they can't even get me on set before 9:30. And in costume? Oh god, no.
Well, you show up, you're already in costume.
Yeah, I basically am. I need my comb. Excuse me. Comb!
Makeup artist, can I get my comb?
Yeah.
Can I get my Dollar Tree comb, please?
No, I use the fancy combs. I use the Dollar General.
Oh, la-di-da.
Yeah. This is actually Kurosawa's biggest Japanese earning film. This is the one that made him the most money ever, and half of that was basically just him suing Fistful of Dollars.
Because he got the money for 2 movies from this one.
Oh, yeah, you get to double. If people steal your movie, you get to double up.
Yep. So, for those who didn't pick up on it earlier, because we were talking about a bunch of bullshit, Sergio Leone, now, if I remember it right, he was making this knowing it was a remake.
Yeah,
Clint Eastwood joined it because he knew Yojimbo.
Yeah.
He was number 12 on the main character list, by the way. He was not anywhere close to being the main character that their first choice was.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone else...
I think Dirty Harry is after Fistful.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But people were like, oh, this main character is mean. I don't want to be a mean cowboy.
Yeah.
Because, and again, we'll get to this a little bit.
They try to get John Wayne to do it.
Yeah.
He just won't.
He tried to get all these people. But he knew it was a remake. Everyone on set knew it was a remake. But it sounds like the producers, the production company just went, let's just not pay the rights to this and hope no one notices. And then it became one of the best-selling cowboy movies ever.
Yeah. It just accidentally, inspired, a generation of Westerns.
Yeah, whoops.
So they had to pay up.
They had to pay up and give him, I think it was all the money from the Japanese release of A Fistful of Dollars, which the poster for that, for the Japanese version, is
It's just horrifying. Who knows?
It's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It's him. It's very minimalist. It's him walking. There's this shitty little tree. Here's a fun fact for you. So there's this shitty little tree that has a single noose on it that Clint walks past. And it's like a tree that's very much not strong enough to actually do this.
This ain't gonna go in your house near Christmas time if your dad chops it down. Your mother says, you take that goddamn thing and put it in the yard.
But here's the thing. So that tree, they actually did just steal it from someone's yard.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
They just told the guy that they were from the forestry department. We're like, we gotta get rid of this tree.
From the Department of Agriculture. Give me your tree.
Literally, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because they didn't have enough money to make the movie. Because there's only like 300,000 or something really small for the time. It's even small for now, adjusted for inflation.
Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, with digital filmmaking, you can make a lot more in, the $30,000 range, because you don't have to pay for film, but...
So this tree, it's this weak, fragile tree, which I'm guessing plays into how, it can't... This tree isn't enough to actually Shut up, Joe.
Why?
I'm trying to fucking talk. And
yeah.
You're just making unfunny jokes.
No,
yelling
that was
into
a
the
funny
microphone.
Joke. That was funny.
Now just go back to saying my pee-pee hurts.
No, I said there's a tree in the swing.
So, this tree is, limp. It's not suited.
Limp like a pee-pee?
Shut up.
Why?
Joe, put your fucking jorts and your fucking shorts.
Why?
I'm gonna fucking punch you.
I'm just picking some fabric off of them.
God damn it. So this tree is limp and unable to deliver justice, just like everyone in this fucking movie. This movie has no justice in this small town. Just like this shitty tree is not enough to actually hang a man off of. Fuck you, Joe.
No seeds on the tree? Okay.
Let's say something more funny about Yojimbo. Back, this man named Japanese.
No. I was going to say that Yojimbo is what Jimmy Neutron's dad calls out to him whenever it's time for supper and he's messing with a robot. He says Yojimbo.
Shut up. Where did you...
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I came up with that.
Yeah, and that's your
That's my contribution.
To your repertoire, you're gonna add that to your stand-up, Joe?
What, Jimmy Neutron jokes? No. It's like a cartoon from 25 years ago. Who gives a fuck about it?
Oh, fuck.
Might as well be referencing, I don't know, the
DuckTales.
Popeye. Yeah.
Hey, Popeye's an American hero. There's a cartoon where he says slap a Jap.
Oh, yeah. No, he does, because it's, basically his whole thing is, he's just taking steroids, but,
yeah, I know Popeye,
No,
Joe.
They can't actually say that. So
he's not taking steroids, he's eating the spinach.
Yeah, eating the spinach with a needle? Is that how you eat your spinach?
Yeah, like chopsticks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
speaking of chopsticks, they came up with the perfect sound for the slicing and dicing. It's 2 wooden chopsticks inside a raw chicken, and then you hack at it with a sword.
That sounds like someone discovered that through their own means. Let's just put it that way. If you're shoving chopsticks inside a raw chicken and recording it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So then, basically, they basically had to truck in dust from an abandoned firing range to get all this dust inside the wind machines. So the gunfighter character, whenever they were shooting his death scene, basically over 3 days, the combination of fake blood and blowing dust made him break out into hives that lasted for weeks after filming.
Oh, fuck.
Because he was just he's basically like Mr. Orange for a couple of shots. He's just like laying in a pool of his own blood. So he was probably just stuck to the ground in dirt.
Yeah. Man, Mr. Orange would be such a fun character to play.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
get to lay in your own blood. Your
Well,
Reservoir Dogs.
no, they had to peel him off the ground every single day after that was done. Yeah. He was like a pancake, just covered in coagulated, dry blood, and it sticks in your hair.
Hell yeah.
And you can't eat it. You cannot eat it.
Why? It's just cornstarch.
No, it's not. The good blood isn't. No,
okay.
It's got chemicals in it.
Yeah, this movie, they had about like 5 companies that were all dipping their fingers into this movie because they're like, oh, this is a Western. I want Westerns make money. I want my finger in this. Do you have anything else you want to say about Yojimbo real quick before I go into Cowboys?
Sure. I was going to say, so this is...
I'm hyping this up, but it's really not, it's going to be like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, no, this is not the only time that Yojimbo got remade. Django is a very, very loose remake back in 1966, and that's about like a lone gunman who comes into town carrying a coffin. And you're just seeing him drag around this coffin for some of the movie, and then it turns out it's a machine gun, and he's just mowing down people with it.
Nice.
Yeah, that follows like a very loose thing from it. They made Zatachi meets Yojimbo in 1970.
Well, I'm sure that's a fucking quality film.
Yeah, well, Zatachi, what that is...
Zatoichi.
Is it called that?
Zatoichi, yes.
Oh, okay. It's a long-running Japanese series, like in the 1960s to 70s, and it's all starring the same main actor.
I actually watched the very first one on Joe's
Yeah, my Plex.
recommendation.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not going to say that it was where I saw it, but it was on your recommendation. Maybe I bought the Criterion DVDs.
Well, that is... no, it's not out of print. The one with the DVDs are out of print and costs $400. That box set is only the $300, not on sale.
So maybe I did buy that one.
Okay. You borrowed it from your local library.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Zatoichi, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it right, is an interesting thing because he's just like this guy. He's not an attractive, handsome man. He's this shaved head dude that's a little bit frumpy looking. He loves to gamble. He's kind of dirty.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, the movie is very slow.
Yeah.
Even though it's only 2 hours, it's I don't know. It's a trip to watch movies from way back when, before they became cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And you had your genres, and then you follow everything that's in your genre handbook, and you don't do anything new.
What? What? Are you talking about Star Wars?
No.
Star Wars?
Aren't you excited for episode 10? They're making another one.
The Mandalorian season 2. They've got Robot Chicken episode 7. No, I was gonna say. So basically, they were gonna make a PG-rated Robot Chicken Star Wars, officially licensed. It was called like Star Wars Detours. It was Detours. And so Seth Green was working on it. Him and George Lucas made like a bunch of stories. They got like 60 episodes done or something like that.
Really?
And then the Disney buyout happened, and it's been locked in a vault ever since. That's not coming out.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That would actually been kind of fun if they were doing PG, because then they would have to actually try with their jokes instead of just saying penis, penis, fart.
Well, no, you can see the trailer, and it's not good, at all.
No.
So
anyway,
no, it's like the worst kind of like child humor.
So about this cowboy stuff. So, my idea of what a cowboy is has always been the squinty eye. Not like in a racist term.
Why? You're saying they've got chopsticks? Oh, yeah. What? You're going to get canceled on Twitter. You know that, right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
But my idea of a cowboy has always been the, Clint Eastwood, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Wah, 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 wah. Showdown at high noon. You pistol, you get your Dirty West.
Yeah. And actually, the whole Western soundtrack basically comes from... what? I forget his name. But he did like the scores for like everything back then. I'm trying to wait.
You can pull them up while I talk about this.
Yeah.
So pre The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the majority of your cowboy heroes were these clean-shaven Buck Rogers style heroes that would come into an area and there would be evil Indians, and they would stop the Indians, or they would stop the drug people.
Indians.
They would stop people that weren't white, from doing their evil deeds.
Yeah, like trying to farm.
Yeah,
plowing.
So it was very, very like, here's your main character. He's clean shaven. You know, he talks like this. You know, he's the hero of the zone, and yada 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 yada. And it was very like good guy versus bad guy, and there was not any more. There was no gray. It was just
yeah.
It was I'm trying to think. It was like
well, it's basically like
Silver
Superman.
Age superheroes. Yeah. Where the comics organization made it so your comics had to be as sterile as like toothpaste.
Because of those filthy, dirty, disgusting horror comics that EC published.
Yeah.
That's what killed it, yeah. They had like a skeleton on the cover, and that's why comics had to be trash for 35 years.
I think they're still trash.
There's some good ones.
Majority trash.
Yeah, but the majority of anything is trash.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But this and the two movies that followed were so impactful that it really changed cowboy movies to be about these gritty man with no name comes into town, you know, things are kind of dirty, you know, everyone's sweaty, everyone's hot, everyone's fucking, they got their, I mean, the Colt 45 was probably, I mean, that's probably from the start, but I mean, the idea of what a cowboy is came from this. So it was really interesting to come into this not even knowing that there was a quote-unquote cowboy before Clint Eastwood and these types of characters. That was what people thought of.
Yeah.
This was a whole new thing. It was so big, so important, and so much better and more original than just copying these weird sci-fi heroes and putting them into a cowboy world that we were doing before.
Well, I mean, one difference is that all of the earlier stuff was shot in America under a studio system. And then you had the spaghetti western, it's called. It was a huge surge of Italian-based western productions. So, like, they didn't have to abide to our strict censorship codes for violence and sex and actual... Because the reason why there weren't anti-heroes before this is because it was literally illegal by the government for you to be following a bad person and him to get away in the end. That was illegal. That wasn't allowed to be shown.
Interesting. This movie was actually shot in Spain.
Yeah.
It was filmed by, sponsored by a bunch of these things.
Italian crew, but yeah.
But it was even cheaper to film in Spain than it was to film in Italy because, again, they had no fucking money. Their budget was so thin that they actually had to go and film. And there was another movie that was being filmed out there, another cowboy movie. And every Sunday is a holiday for like the Catholic faith, I believe, out there where they just can't work. Which sounds like, that sounds like your kind of thing, Joe.
Yeah, I'm such a holy man. Every day is my day of rest. I am the holiest man in all of Illinois.
Yep, shoving food into each one of those holes.
I am partaking the bread of Jesus Christ. How dare you, sir? I am a priest.
So they actually...
I am God.
They went to the people that were filming it and were like, hey, so you guys can't work on Sunday. But we're a different denomination.
Yeah.
we're
Catholic
religious
scabs.
Yeah, Catholic scabs. So they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't give a fuck. We can't film there. So they took a bunch of shit from them and then put it in their set.
They left behind their cowboy hats. Get them.
Clint Eastwood actually brought his own cowboy hat. He had one cowboy hat. He stole the gun from
his father.
I think it was Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah,
it was like a lot. Like it was a fake gun.
Yeah.
The jeans he just bought. And same with the boots. So he only had one of these. So if his hat got destroyed, he was just fucked.
Yeah.
Because
there wasn't no eBay in 1964.
They didn't have money to replace anything, so he would go home in that full outfit. Well, not home. He would go to the hotel and he would have it sitting there in the hotel. He would take it back with him every day.
Yeah.
So and the clothes were, they had to dirty them up. So they only had one. Because if you ripped your fucking shirt in half, we can't make it dirty enough to match if you were in the middle of an important scene. We're going to have to fucking refilm all of that. We're using fucking film. You think I'm fucking made of money? No, I fucking can't. I don't
Well, also that film was made of nitrate, so if you smoked near the film, your hair was going to go, up on flames.
So, yeah, it was very, very tight ship, but they made it work.
Yeah.
So, I had a great time watching this movie. I'm probably going to watch a few dollars more. We've seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yes, beforehand.
So, but it's been so long that I'd be happy to rewatch that, which is a 3-hour monster of a movie compared to this one's paltry 90 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So, very enjoyable. Yojimbo sounds really fun. I'm going to give that one a watch, too.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good, yeah.
It sounds like it's a more comedic take, which would be interesting to pair with Clint Eastwood's very serious.
Yeah, it's dry.
Yeah, very dry cowboy desert.
Let me ask you. I hear this line all the time. Does this come from this movie? Now listen, do you feel lucky, punk? Did I fire 5 shots or 6?
I don't know if that's from Yojimbo, but I haven't seen it.
No. No, from Fistful of Dollars. Clint Eastwood says that in some movie. I forget what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well,
I think it's in Last Man Standing, the
remake. The other remake of this? Yeah,
yeah, the remake of Yojimbo.
There was Omega
stars,
Doom.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And he's just like weird. Bruce Willis is a weird character. He's just a weird person. He doesn't fit in any time period.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce Willis, it's like, what's he been in recently? He's a has-been, a hack.
I watched the trailer for Last Man Standing, and it does not look good.
No.
What was the other one? It said Omega.
Omega Doom.
Omega Doom sounds interesting because it's like a Terminator and like a post-apocalypse world shows up to an area, but I imagine it's probably not very good.
No, I'm sure it's not good, but it's basically like a real weird version of it in like sci-fi land.
I'd be interested in seeing that one. I'm sure there's even more remakes. Like, it's kind of become known for being
there's an anime adaptation.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I know there's a manga, which is Usagi Yojimbo, but I don't know if that's related to Yojimbo at all. That's the one with the rabbit, man.
Oh, okay.
Because Yojimbo is just bodyguard, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Usagi Yojimbo might just not be related to this at all. Also, who wins, him or Zatoichi?
Oh, no, they both land a strike on each other and then part ways.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That sounds like an awful movie.
No, it's peaceful. They're more peaceful. They're peaceful characters.
I'm sure they land their hits at the exact same time so the fucking movie nerds don't have a goddamn conniption fit.
Yeah. No, that's what they legally had to do to get both the Warner Brothers and Disney cartoons in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. They both had to be on screen exactly the same amount of frames.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny. And then Daffy and Donald Duck.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I never actually thought about how they had both. Yeah, shit.
Yeah, they had everybody. They had everybody of the Golden Age cartoons. Yeah, that's never happening again.
No, absolutely not. Crossovers.
Nobody's playing nice.
Yeah. Ironically, the only person I can think of right now who's playing nice is fucking Fortnite. So.
Yeah. Look, they got Rocket League. They give me a game every week. I'm so happy.
So I'm very happy watching this movie. Which, based on the description, I mean, which one you only saw Yojimbo.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you how you would feel about either or, which one you would prefer.
Well, see, I'm a movie reviewer, so I actually don't have to see the movies to give my opinion on them.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say Yojimbo's a better, more influential film.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. We probably should have watched them before we ended this, but fuck that. So.
Well, we gave these people an hour 20.
Yeah.
How much more do you want? How much more of my blood do you want?
I'm running dry on funny juice.
No, I got plenty of funny juice.
I ran out of funny juice 10 minutes into the episode, Joe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, go watch the movie, people. We're rambling about nonsense. So, thanks for listening to Best Boys. You can find the podcast on YouTube, iTunes. Google Play is going away, so you can find us on Google Podcast and I guess YouTube Music. And also Spotify.
Yeah. I am over on The Man with No Brain. Basically, you get to dissect my temporal lobe. You get to just take a nice drill in there.
Oh, it's so small.
No! What? No. I've got a big, juicy brain. It's really big. Oh, yeah. And, like, basically, my good buddy Ryan Ziegler is basically trying to poke around in there and see what makes me tick. It's kind of like a half comedy, half analysis show, which I'm not sure has really been done before, like, basically fixing a mind as comedy. I'm also on Malevolent Movies, which is almost, it's kind of a little bit Red Letter Media styled, if you've seen them before. We basically just kind of goof on really low-budget, bad indie horror movies.
Yeah, if you enjoy these podcasts, you will enjoy the Malevolent Movies series. Yeah. They're doing the Hunt for Bad October right now, which is really fun, where they were each given 2 terms. I think it was, I don't know, you were given terms to find a movie.
We got randomly generated, basically, keywords. So mine are coming up. I have to find a occult-based cannibalism movie.
Yeah, I was terrified when I watched their first video where they gave everyone their terms, because there were 2 terms on there. There was erotic and child protagonists. So
No, but actually, there is one that would qualify. It's gross. It's called Clown House. I'll give this little story right here.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Clown House was a movie. It was directed by Victor Salva.
Known pedophile?
No, he's not young. He was old at that point.
Known.
Oh, yeah,
pedophile.
known pedophile. He wasn't at this point. But basically, he got to work with these children, and he got charged with filming one of the young boys giving him a blowjob using the studio equipment and film. So, yeah, he went to jail for 6 months, got out. Disney Channel gave him a movie called, made-for-TV movie called Powder. He did well on that. And then he got to make Jeepers Creepers. And he's still making movies today.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So that would be a erotic child protagonist film from his point of view. From the director's point of view.
Anyway, so they do funny videos. You should,
yeah. And I barely talk about pedophilia in the Malevolent Movie channel. So if you don't enjoy that, there's none of that coming up for you.
Yeah. Yep. No pedophiles allowed on either podcast.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly.
You're gonna have to go back to my brother, and me.
No.
My brother, and my little brother and me.
Yeah. Damn it! I don't want to go back to Chapo Trap House.
If you're a pedophile, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to only listen to Come Town.
Yeah.
Taking Come Town down a peg.
No. Come Town's awesome. Adam Friedland's a bug. He eats dust. I don't like him at all.
Okay, Joe. Whatever.
Yeah, he's a dust-eating bug.
Okay, whatever. You ped.
No.
What kind of bug is he? Is he a rock spider?
No. Wrong. He's a ladybug, and you're too fat for teeth.
Okay. Goodbye.
Yeah.